Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Exploring British Culture. Today, we're going to talk about some of the most fascinating aspects of the British, from manners and tea to royalty and traditional food. So, let's begin with with something that the UK is known for, British etiquette. And Brian, can you tell us, what the British etiquette is?
Sure. British etiquette refers to the polite behavior and customs that are deeply rooted in the UK's culture. It's all about saying please, thank you, and even sorry, sometimes even when it's not your fault.
Okay, that's so true. Do you think ethic is so important in the UK? Because, for example, it's a way of showing respect and being considerate. People in the UK often avoid being too directed or direct, or loud, and they also value privacy and keeping a certain emotional distance. Not because they are cold, but because they are being like polite. Gracia, have you noticed any difference between British and, let's say, Mexican manners?
Well, yes. In Mexico, we are more expressive and warm when greeting someone, and we might hug or kiss in the cheek, for example. But in the UK, a handshake or just a nod is more common, especially when meeting someone for the first time.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about punctuality and formality. Gustavo, what can you tell us about being on time in the UK?
Punctuality is very important in British culture. Being late is considered rude, especially in professional settings. If you're invited to dinner at 7 p.m., you arrive at 7, not 7:15.
Okay, that's good to know. Do you think that is the language also more formal?
Yes, definitely. In normal situation, people might use the titles like Mr. or Mrs. and avoid using first names too soon. They often say, "Well, you mind if?" instead of just "Can I?"
Okay. Did you know that when British person say they will do something, they really mean it? Making a promise, a setting of a meeting is taken so seriously. It reflects reliability and respect for others' time. Okay, so let's move on to a classic part of the British culture. Tea. Gracia, Gracia, will you give me a little background?
Yes, of course. Tea became popular in the UK in the 17th century, especially among the upper class. Over time, it became part of the everyday. And today, British people drink tea not only in the morning, but also during breaks, after work, and even before bed.
Okay, thank you. And Gustavo, what do you think the tea is so important?
It's more than a drink, it's a ritual. Sharing the is a way to connect with others. It's calm, comforting, and social. That's why afternoon tea is still such a big thing, especially in places like London.
And Brian, what do they usually have uh, uh, with the tea?
The full afternoon tea includes a small sandwich, scones with jam and cream, and a little cakes or pastries. It's a very elegant traditional experience.
Okay, Brian, have you ever tried English tea?
Yes, I tried it with milk, and at first it was strange, but then I started to like it. It's very relaxing.
Wow. Okay, wow. Now let's talk about the royal family. Can you tell me? or can you explain me briefly what the British monarchy is?
The British monarchy is one of the oldest in the world. It's a constitutional monarchy, meaning the king or queen doesn't make laws, but represents the country symbolically. Right now, the King Charles III is the monarch.
Okay, okay, thanks. And Gracia, what are some of the roles?
Well, and they attend ceremonies, support charity, and represent the UK around the world. For example, Queen Elizabeth II was known for her diplomatic visits, and even though they don't govern, they are seen as a symbol of unity and tradition.
Okay, do you think that royal family is still important today? Because I think that some of the people admire them and think uh, they help the UK global image, and others believe it's outdated and expensive to maintain. But culturally, they're still a big part of the British identity. Uh, Gustavo, would you like to see something like that in Mexico?
Honestly, no, we have a different history, but I do admire the British respect for tradition and ceremony.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's good to know. But now let's wrap up with the traditional British food. Gracia, what's the most iconic dish in British?
Well, definitely fish and chips. It's fried fish served with a tight fries and usually eaten with salt and vinegar. It's simple but very popular.
Okay, and Brian, what's a full English breakfast like?
It includes eggs, bacon, sausage, baked beans, toast, tomatoes, and sometimes mushrooms. It's a huge meal, usually eaten on weekends or holidays.
Okay, and do you think of British food? What do you think? I mean, of British food overall?
It may not be as spicy or colorful as Mexican food, but it has its charms. I like their pies and use the gravy. It's very comforting.
And don't forget the desserts. I love the three sticks to feed pudding.
Okay. Well, I think that's all for today's podcast. We hope you enjoy of learning more about the British ethic, punctuality, tea culture, the royal family, and the traditional food. Thanks to everyone for sharing their thoughts, and thank you also for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.